Hello, this is Alpha World Watch with Jay Quest. I think one of the things that's happening out in California with all of its mm, immorality, if you want to call it, from illegal aliens voting to the killing of that poor woman out there in San Francisco, I think most of those people out there are crazy. They really are crazy. They have no sense of what the Bible has to say. They have no sense of what God has to say. They don't care. They're out for themselves. They're communists, they're fascists, and they're Satanists. Take, for example, the fires that are going out there right now. More than 200,000 Southern California residents have been forced to evacuate. I Plus the earthquakes that are going out there, plus the dam that broke out in Northern California. I think I don't want to say you gotta think about what is going on with that government out there. Why in the hell would they be passing laws where you can't even protect yourself against bad guys, but yet bad guys are being allowed into that state and just breaking the law, and they just kick them out and then they just come back right back again. Um, the drugs is bad out there. The violence is bad out there. The movies are terrible now. You can't get a movie nowadays. You can't even watch a movie now without having some sort of political agenda. And every single time you think about going to the movies, you've got to reevaluate anything that has to do with that. So, I mean, California, I hope some people out there really start to understand that they need to get out of there because they're only, I'll tell you what, this is what I believe. I believe that if we're going to have a revolution out there, or if we're going to have a revolution in the United States, it's going to start in California. And the reason why I say that is because the government in California has actually let enough enemies of the state into California where the citizens of California and the United States are going to eventually revolt. And with Mr. Moonbeam, that governor out there, Jerry Brown, he's a psycho. He is. I wouldn't give that guy a job if it was flipping burgers. Um, I mean, you have to do interviews, right? So, in order for you to do an interview for a job, for any kind of job, you have to check their background. You have to make sure they're not crazy and they're not going to go off on your other employees. And you have to make sure that they're going to make you profits. But unfortunately, this guy, this Brown guy, they spend more money, okay? Let's check this out. They spend more money on illegal aliens than they do on the citizens who pay the taxes. I mean, to protect them, these illegal aliens, and then eventually they keep taking the rights away from the citizens of California. So, I mean, you have to come down to an understanding that they're socialists. They're communist socialists, and I don't care who they are. They're against the Constitution, okay? The first thing they do is they take your rights away from freedom of speech. The second they do is they take away your Second Amendment rights. The second protects the first. So that if you take your second away, then you have no right to say anything. For example, if I were to call somebody by he or she, I could be put in jail for that. Now, is that crazy? That is nuts. But of course, that's California. Now with the fires out there, I think it's I think it's God's judgment. I really do. I really do think it's God's judgment especially in LA, when you have the pedophile sexual assaults, kidnappings, pornography, crap like that out there. I think the fires are a judgment. Or it could be a terrorist act. I don't know. It could be. I mean, think about it. You got unknown individuals coming in from other countries of the world into California. No one's checking them. No one's walking over them. No one's trying to find out where they came from. They could care less. But they'll give them a driver's license. They'll give them food stamps. They'll give them anything that you need, health care. And they vanish. They vanish. And then what happens? You got crimes you can't figure out because you know what? They're not even registered on a fingerprint, program somewhere. You can't fingerprint these guys if they don't come to the system correctly. So what do you got? You got a bunch of individuals coming over into the country, into the state of California, the back door of the butthole of America. Right there is, California. I hate to say it because I'm from California. I mean, I was born in L.A. and raised in San Francisco, and then I came out to the middle of America. I'm not going to say where I'm from because people will freak out. Liberals will go, "Oh, I can't do that. Oh, I can't handle this guy. This guy's nuts. I need to go after him. He's crazy." I don't need that. I got a family to look at him. I got dogs to look at. I don't need that crap. So keep on thinking of where I come from. Anyways. The deal is, I remember going out there, Pier 39. I used to go fishing out there. I remember to go in Half Moon Bay, in the Bay Area. I used to go horseback riding up on the beach on Half Moon Bay. I remember building a house with my uncle out there and my dad up in Bodega Bay, about 50 miles north of Santa Rosa, California. Beautiful. I had a great time out there in that age of innocence. But apparently, it's turned into a satanic cesspool of filth. And then they wonder why they have the problems they do. Well, when you take prayer out of school, when you take the rights of people of being able to protect themselves, take the rights of them to have the freedom of speech, and then you shove socialist, communist agendas down their throats, and then you tell them that if they don't obey, they're going to take your kids, they're going to put you in jail. That is not what the Constitution says. It's a violation of every aspect of freedom of America. The pursuit of happiness. Hey, if you want to sodomize the guy next door and he wants you to do that, you do it. But don't make a law where we have to force to like it or they advertise it in public. I mean, the agenda for that crap is satanic from all aspects of it. You get to a point where you just want to move out. And I hope they really do because, I mean, last I heard they were like $57 billion in debt. And how do you get that in debt when Hollywood is the biggest producer of entertainment and they make trillions of dollars every year? One movie can make almost $900 billion, and you're going to tell me they can't collect enough taxes on that crap to pay off the debts? They can't even fix a dam out there. And that has been, from what I understand, the Corps of Engineers told the governor, 5 years ago that they needed to fix that thing, and what happens? Oh, it finally collapses, and they go, well, we don't have the money to do it. Now, guess what? They're begging the president for emergency federal funds. But no, we don't want to obey the Constitution. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Be like that. You stupid. How many morons does it take to run a country a state into the ocean? And apparently, I'm sorry, but you just can't blame all the politicians. You got to blame some of the people out there too. Those guys, I'm telling you, I mean, there's something wrong with them. If they can't see the problem, they deserve what they're getting. From what I understand, San Francisco, when I was living out there in the Bay Area, back in late 70s, early 80s, you could live in San Francisco. You could live in the Bay Area. You can live in Santa Rosa, Hayward, Oakland, Burlingame, San Mateo with no problem. You can make a minimum price job, work in that, and you could survive. It wasn't good living, but you could survive. You could pay the rent, the utilities, get the food in the house, put gas in the car. But right now, in the Bay Area, from what I understand, they say that anybody who wants to live in the Bay Area, San Francisco, those surrounding areas, to buy a house, you have to make at least $1 million a year. How do you get to that point to where you financially can't even live in the city you work in? That is crazy. That's nuts. So, anyways, the fires out in LA, I think it's payback. In my opinion, I hope no one gets hurt. I really do. Okay, I just watched a video. What was it on CNN or BBC or something? Some moron was chasing a rabbit, trying to save it from the fire, and he was freaking out. He was like jumping around. Oh my god! I can't. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? This is the mindset that's out there. The mindset that thinks that animals are more important than his own life. I'm sorry, but, I have a different attitude. I have a different way of looking at it. Hey, if the rabbit dies, I'm sorry, but I'm having gravy and mashed potatoes with that son of a gun. I am Jay Quest, and this is Alpha World Watch, and I'll be right back.